Good evening and welcome to the Architects Workshop Open Submission Competition. I'd like to welcome you all here this evening. It's very decent, lovely to make the trip out in this horrible weather. Thanks to everybody for coming along. As you can see here this evening, we have an absolutely amazing selection of work. The artists have put in a lot of hard work to put this show together, and I'd like to thank you very much for doing so. The events like this take a lot of putting together, and they really can't go ahead without support from individuals and companies and businesses around the place. In this instance, the Progressive Credit Union has stepped up and sponsored some of the prize money, and also Mr. Ray Murphy from Balrothery Heritage Centre has come in as well for sponsorship. And I'd like to give them a round of applause, please, and thanks for that. Also to Martin Fannin and the Balrothery Heritage Committee, who take care of this magnificent building. You can see they've done a great job on it, and it's an absolutely super venue for an event like this. Also, in the organising of these things, there's a lot of administration work and a lot of phone calls and emails and stuff that have to be done both ways from everybody. And I'd like to make a special mention to Paul Hughes, who did the entirety of the administration on this project. Just a quick mention for future events through the Artists Fest Workshop. We've been approached and asked, would we possibly run a photography competition. In conjunction with the judges in this event, we decided that it would be very difficult to admit photography into an event such as this. It would make it very difficult to compare a photograph with a painting. So for that reason, there were no photographers allowed in. Bunch of, you know. So as a concession to the local photographers, and I'm only saying that because Jimmy is here, we were looking at running a photography competition in the spring. Also, the people from the Tidy Towns committee have asked that we think about putting together an art exhibition with a focus on art made from junk materials, so junk couture and junk art. And so those things are going to be coming up in the spring. So if you'd like to like our Facebook page and keep an eye on our website, details of that will be coming on. Now, the hardest part, I think, of running an event like this is to pick work that will be deserving of prize money. It's an impossible task. I couldn't possibly do it. So with that in mind, I asked Dave West, who's a prominent artist, Mr. Paul Delamere, is a gallery owner, and Mr. Ian Fleming, who's an artist and a lecturer, to come in as judges. And they spent quite a bit of time mulling over things, and they spent a couple of hours here today going over a short list and picking the eventual winners. I'm very grateful, and I'd like to give them a round of applause, please. Now, the easy bit. I'd like to ask Ray Murphy to come up. He's in the building. Ray's the owner of Balrothery Motor Factors in the town here, and he's been a great supporter of the arts here for a number of years. And as one of the sponsors, I'd like to start in reverse order. We had a little bit of an issue here today with the judges, in the sense that there were 3 awards. There's a €500 award, a €300 award, and a €200 award, but they just could not reach agreement on the last one. So what we've had to do is split the last award into 2. So the first award for €100 goes to the artwork number 76, and that's Mr. Ronnie Seiden. Sorry, we got a mix up in the checks here. It may have been done on purpose, so you're not able to catch them. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you. There we go. There we go. Okay, the next award for €100 goes to artwork number 35, and that's Helen O'Higgins. The €300 award goes to artwork number 83, and that is Siobhan Coffey. And last but not least, the award for €500 was definitely my favourite. This morning was the first time I actually got to look at all the artworks, having putting them all up on the stands and everything. And it's definitely my favourite from the start. The €500 award goes to Mr. Niall Rycroft. Number 64. So this kind of thing, we're on a bit of a mission here in this part of the world to have a gallery space open to all artists, and these events are geared towards that kind of thing. So when it comes to pushing for premises, and there's an election coming up, so we'd like to, just every time a politician knocks on your door, just ask them about that first of all. I'd like to ask Mr. Ian Fleming to come up and say a few words. He's one of the judges, and he'd like to just say a few words about the art. Thank you very much.
I'm entirely sure that none of the judges will get out of the doors alive, so I just thought I may as well declare my hand at this stage. On behalf of the judges, the first thing I'd really like to say is an incredible congratulations to Martin. The amount of work that has gone into this, the assembling of all of this, and the incredible opportunity for everybody to be able to take part. So could I ask you to put your hands together? On the sort of, really the art world works on activists and on their effort, so it does. A lot of it hinges on that, and to do this kind of event, incredible amount of work. Both Paul and Dave and myself have put a lot of hours in. You all submitted your work digitally first of all, and we had a week or so. We were speaking to each other back and forward about the work, what the front runners were like. But there's one thing I'd really love to emphasise to you, and to back up what Martin just said. You see, seeing the work in the flesh, seeing the actual work. When we came in here this afternoon, and we did spend, I'm sure, an hour and a half, guys, in our final deliberations, having looked at them quite a lot. There were a lot of the time it was, wow, look at that. That didn't look very impressive as a scan or as a photograph. And the whole idea of trying to look to get a gallery into these areas, it's really bad that the community doesn't have that kind of facility here. So again, I would like to to say to Artist Rest and all who are involved, everyone who's involved, that there's a really good thing happening there. Now, to actually talk about the work. yet again, each of us, whenever we looked at the work, and I don't know, maybe I'm being perhaps slightly insulting in some ways, we just could not believe the standard of the work that was coming in, really, really, really high standard, and it really made it very difficult for us to judge. So many different types of work, the scale of work made a very, very big difference indeed, so it did to us. And when you see that in the digital form, so they're all the same size on screen, and then when you come in, and in some cases, some of the pieces that we thought were really big were actually turned out to be quite tiny and small, and the detail that's in the work there. Now, the one, I'm maybe saying something that you all know, but to me, as an artist, the most important time in an artwork's life is at the point in time when you're making it. At that point in time when you're having this argument, this intuitive process that goes on, and at that stage, then once you have brought the artwork into being, then it's a matter of you kind of learn, you have to cut the lines and let it go out into the world and have its own life. And I think it's brilliant hearing the sounds of kids here. I know that as a wee lad in my parents' house, I used to look at paintings that were up on the wall, and I made up my own stories and imagination about them. And for each of you who are creating artwork like that, you're given the opportunity to other people, you've got your thoughts and feelings about it, but everybody else brings something else on. And I just think it's so important for our souls in so many ways to be able to make work. Now, to talk about the work, we had, when we came to do the judging of the work, it really was an extremely tough decision, and we had to be tough in relation to it. We selected down from is it 105? 107 pieces that are here. We selected those down to about 10 or a dozen pieces. Now that was a killer. It really was very hard to do. But having said that, in lots of ways, a lot of that work did select itself. Some of you will, I've absolutely no doubt that you will all have your opinion as to what should win. And all I can say, and this is the same whether you're in the Royal Academy in London or in a hall here, it is the personal taste of the judges. I have submitted and been rejected, and submitted and succeeded, and it's very, very hard at times to understand what that's about. So an awful lot of it, the thing to not be discouraged whenever a work isn't the piece that's got the award. That's a really, really important lesson as an artist, to be able to take that. I honestly, as far as I'm concerned, every single piece of work that's in here, I can see and feel the emotion, feel the reasons, the thoughts behind why that work has been created, and I would really encourage you to continue with that. One of the things is that we've looked at, that we're pretty sure about, that I guess you guys will look and think, there's some incredibly good technical pieces around that might even be technically better than some of the work that we have selected. But I think one of the things that we were really looking for was, alongside technical ability, was the person's individual voice, and seeing that. And a lot of the work that is there can be a tendency for people to take imagery and reflect back their thoughts and feelings in that imagery without it becoming part of them, in a sense. That perhaps the composition maybe is something that came from the original image, or and while they may have really, really strong technical ability, there's less engagement with that. And that's something that we really believe that we saw in the work that we selected. In each instance, for the first and second place things, there were 3 bits of work that were in the show, and we really considered that all 3 of those pieces of work were really of a very, very high standard. And you can see the development of the work. There are 1 or 2 pieces where there's maybe only 1 piece here, that kind of thing, and we can't see, it was very hard to see where the work had come from. And that is, I'm really interested in a thing, or in a phrase called developing your creative voice. Now, I teach web design and app development. I also teach life drawing and teach things like that in the University of Ulster in the Art College. And the one thing I try to get across to people is you have one incredible advantage over anybody else in the world. And I think it's my job to give you the confidence to believe in your voice, because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you different. That's what makes the work that's on the wall here. And then okay, you've got a time of really trying to work your way through that. To me, it took me a long time to learn this. Art is about bringing to the outside the things that are in the inside. The things that are part of your spirit, and we can really see that among everything that's here. Just one other point I suppose I'd like to make, just in terms of the selection, and I'm sure you'll be going around and having a look at the work. We looked actually at there's quite a bit of drawing in different places. And the 2 pieces which we looked at, one of them is printmaking and the other is, maybe let's call it collage. But actually, as we looked at them, and when I was listening to what Martin said there about that we couldn't make up our minds, I actually wouldn't say that is the case. We really made up our mind that although when you have a look at them, they're both really they're very, very different ends of the scale. We actually saw them both as drawing. So one of them is this lovely fine little etching, and I assume there's aquatint in there as well, is there? Something, yeah, something like that. And the other has got masking tape and string, and there's all sorts of stuff thrown in there. But they're both drawing, so they are. The main, at the back of them, and there is a cultural thing that can be seen in both of them. You can really see that the person involved was bringing that out. In relation to the second prize with Siobhan, I remember when I saw that piece on digitally, first of all, I'm not sure I really like that so much, and I was really, really surprised, to see it. Very often when you take a piece of work and you come up close and you're really rewarded with something, and then when you step back and you see it in a very different way, and that's something I would suggest whenever you're looking at that piece. There's 2 very, very different ways of seeing the light that's in that. And then finally, with Niall, who we gave our first prize to, he is superb in terms of drawing. All of the work coming to him is done at first hand. They're based on sketches and things. Sorry, my mouth is getting dry, which is probably a sign that I should stop talking. But I just want to finish that. That learning to draw from life is something that is really, really valuable. Some of you are doing that, and others aren't. And we're all on a journey of exploration, so we are. To wind up on the thing, I would really, I honestly, it's hard to give enough praise for the standard of work that is in this place. For the vision that Martin has had, actually, to put this together. I'm sure this would be technically what's known as a pain in the butt. you know, to do this kind of work. Why would anybody do this? And yet it has had a brilliant result. And I'm very, very impressed, and I'm very pleased that Martin asked myself, and you know, both Paul and David have expressed the same thing. So I don't know, how do you finish this? What about asking you to give yourselves a round of applause for the work that's there? I'm going to just say one other thing. All of the work that's on the walls is for sale, which is even more incredible. I have a thing, I learned this from going to auctions a couple of times, seeing work, and then 6 months later, still thinking to myself, I wish I'd bought that. And of course, you know, whether you go back to a gallery, you know, it's not there. So listen, if there's a piece of work that you really like, here's my way of doing it. I will look at a piece of work and I think to myself, in 6 months' time, you know, will I feel annoyed if I don't have that? Will I still be thinking about it? And if if the answer to that is likely to be yes, you know, then if you like it, buy it. I've recently been using a little phrase. I'm involved in putting an exhibition on, and I came up with a little hashtag, which is "Home is where the art is," and that's where it should be.
Okay, that's the end of the speeches. Thank you all very much for coming. Enjoy some wine, and thank you again. Cheers.